Hey, this is Tracy Nelson with Creation Adventures. Welcome back to part two of my method of cleaning the wild turkey. And I've gotten one piece of that breast meat off there, and I've gotten one thigh so far. So this is part two, where I'm going to show you how to fillet the second part of that breastbone. Get that breast meat off that breastbone, and also take out that other thigh. So just hang in here with me. Like I said, I'm not an expert. This is the way I've always cleaned my turkeys, and it's just what works best for me. You might have another method of doing it, and that'll be up to you. Okay? So thanks for joining and hanging here with me. On high heat, real fast. That's just me now. I'm not claiming to be some kind of turkey cooking guru. Now I'll just do this next thigh. I'll skin it on down here. As far as I can. And that way I can peel this skin off. I'm just using my thumb. I'm using my thumb to separate out the skin from that meat. I'm just pulling it. You don't really have to do a lot of cutting. I'll have to cut it right there. Like that. Pull it away from there. Like that. That thigh right there. Now, did you notice what I did last time? In order to do that and kind of free that up from the body, and then I just take my knife. Get it here in a minute. There we go. Clean those feathers off of there. We're going to wash this really good before we either freeze it or use it pretty soon. There again, I got my, just same things I did a while ago. Go ahead and put a little water in there and get those things soaking a little bit. Now all I'm left with, and maybe you can see this one better since it's facing you, and I should have turned that other one around to face you. What I did last time, here's this breastbone. Just fillet that off there. See there? Got a big old nice piece of meat. Oh, that's going to be good. it is. See that nice? I'm gonna wash, get all those feathers off there. By the way, when the feathers get wet, they're a lot easier to deal with than when they're dry. Tendency to float around, all that stuff when they're dry. Now here's what I'd recommend. When you get this breast fairly clean, you really examine it for holes. Maybe some of your shot went a little low. And what happens is when the shot, if it goes into the breast, it'll usually carry feathers with it. So you really want to look and examine that, and even feel it with your fingers. Feel for shot, because you don't want to bite into a piece of meat thinking it's going to be this nice tender piece of meat and you have some shot in there. So it's good to just go ahead and just go through it. And if you have some shot in there, then take your knife and either, you know, just cut into it and get it out, or do something to get it out. So I'll rinse my pieces of meat off several times. I'm a little rusty on this. It's been, like I said, it's been a couple of years. Let's do that inspection I was telling you about on that. You can tell if a shot went in there. They would, of course, there'd be a hole. No kidding. Just go through it, you know. So one of the ways that mainly there's two ways that we'll do wild turkey. We'll cut it into thin pieces and just batter it and fry it. That's one way. And but I'll tenderize it first when I cut it in strips, or I'll tenderize it as a big piece and then I'll cut it into strips using a tenderizing hammer. Or sometimes I'll cut it into chunks after I've tenderized it. I might marinate it in something I like, and then we might make kebabs using venison backstrap, peppers, onions, and different things like that. Squash, zucchini squash and yellow squash, and deer meat. Anyway, we'll have all that on a kebab, and we'll have the chunks of turkey on there also. And that's a really good way to enjoy the wild turkey. So there it is. And wow, it's been a great day. Look, it's almost 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. Already got a turkey, killed a turkey, cleaned a turkey, and hopefully in the next couple of hours we're going to go and I'm going to go hit the river and try to catch some white bass. So I may be back over here at my cleaning table yet again here in a little bit. Now, if you are a guy that likes primitive skills, then you'll recognize that a lot of people like to use turkey feathers to fletch like primitive arrows with. So it's a good time to go ahead and collect those. And these limb lock pruning shears are pretty good at cutting these off. Let me give you a word of caution. If you can't tell them apart, you need to make sure that it'd be good to keep all the feathers from one wing in like a big Ziploc bag. Let's say this is the right wing. Keep all the right wings in one, keep all the left wings in one, unless you can tell them apart. You may not need to do that if you can tell them apart. And then when it comes time to use them as fletching, you won't have to figure all that out. So there's some feathers I could use for some different things with primitive archery. So I can lay them right there and then go do the next one. And by the way, I've used the tail feathers. Some people might disagree with me on that, but I've used tail feathers to fletch arrows with, and I think my feathers flew just great. Okay, so you guys, thank you for joining me for this wonderful experience, and y'all have a great day. May the good Lord richly bless you in all your ways as you follow Him.